Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra and Kumasi. We are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including ATL FM, Cape Coast, Might FM, Tamalik, Bewa Radio Yendi, and Inkligi FM Boli. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, minority in Parliament cast doubts over the government's ability to make an estimated 4 billion cedis available to recapitalize distressed National Investment Bank.
Where is the source of that money? Does that money exist anywhere that government is unable to use or store this money anywhere? The details are just sketchy.
In the midst of the illegal mining destruction across the country, a citizen resistance is mounting in some communities.
Did you say you were bringing community mining here? These young ones are the reason we live and work.
We'll bring you excerpts of part 3 of our latest Hotline documentary titled Poisoned for Gold in Business.
Some oil marketing companies reduce prices of petroleum products. We'll bring you the latest quotes on the Joy Business Report.
And later, state funeral held for former First Lady Theresa Kufuor ahead of final funeral rites on Saturday as her children say her compassionate but disciplinarian nature and her nicknames like Chief Justice, the Law, and Severe.
You were strict and had rules which were hard to follow sometimes, but somehow you always knew it was you we were referring to.
I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Details shortly. In the first story, the minority in Parliament is casting doubts over the government's ability to make an estimated 4 billion cedis available to recapitalize the distressed National Investment Bank. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta last Wednesday announced a capital injection to save the struggling banks. But Minority Chief Whip Governs Kwame Agboja said the government must provide clarity on the source of funding for the recapitalization.
As we speak, Assembly just got a fraction of what they are owed since the beginning of January, just last week and this week. They say owe them billion. Road fund is owed billion. NHIS is owed a lot of money. The road contractors are owed maybe in the tune of getting to almost 12 to 15 billion. And you are talking about just mentioning money. We are going to set aside 4 billion for NIB, 500 million for this. Where is the source of that money? Does that money exist anywhere that government is unable to use or store this money anywhere? The details are just sketchy.
He had Minority Chief Whip Governs Kwame Agboja. Now, still on the minority, it is taking on government for its decision to borrow from the World Bank to resettle victims of that Consumable spillage. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on Wednesday announced government had requested funding from the World Bank. But speaking to Joy News minority leader Dr. Kasiel Atufosin said it was wrong for government to borrow to take care of victims.
No, they are going to borrow money to come and take care of them. But what happens to our resources?
What's wrong with that?
When would they get this loan? Remember, your country is bankrupt. When are they going to get this loan? It will come. But when?
The people need it.
But the people need it.
Doesn't matter how you get it.
Until they get the loan, it means these people will not be resettled. First, we have Segleme out there. We have Segleme. You won't spend 10 million to put it into proper shape for them to have a place to sleep. We have Segleme. You can resettle them easily, and it's enough to take care of the people. You don't need to go and borrow money again.
You had Minority Leader Dr. Kasiel Atufosin. Now, dealers and suppliers of medical consumables say they will engage the government on details of tax exemptions to work towards ameliorating the impact of the high cost of critical healthcare in the country. The announcement of tax exemptions on the importation of medical consumables and raw materials for the pharmaceutical industry has been welcomed, especially by the Federation of African Medical Equipment and Devices and Suppliers. But they want further details for a smooth implementation. Anthony Amika is the leader of the Federation.
Now that the announcement has been made by the minister, we are now going to engage the Ministry of Finance and other stakeholders to come up with a list that to be exempted under this policy, after which an LI will be presented to the government for consideration before the council.
Away from that, in the midst of the illegal mining destruction across the country, citizen resistance is mounting in some communities. One of them is Atonsu in the Bibiani Arianso Bekwai municipality. Residents are leading a crusade against any form of mining to protect their farms and a beautiful forest and water source in that community. This is captured in the concluding part of Poison for Gold, a documentary produced by PAV Answer Journalist of the Year, Erastus Asari Donko. Here access.
Atronsu is a small farming community in the Bibiani Anyaso Bekwai municipality. It is home to this beautiful forest and its serene water source, the Atronsu stream. Series of attempts have been made to give this land out for community mining schemes, but the community says no. 80-year-old Georgina Awotwe and others want any form of mining to be resisted.
Did you say you are bringing community mining here? The mining will bring teenage pregnancy and truancy. The children will not go to school. Look at the devastation caused by mining on the Dunkwa Road. Look at the polluted water bodies. We are saying we don't want any community mining. Give us better jobs, not mining. If the government wants peace, they should reconsider the decision to bring mining here. We don't want it.
Patrick Jaffet Danso, a farmer, and some residents are in court fighting to prevent the destruction of this green ecosystem.
If it is community mining, at least it is the community members who are to engage in it. But here is the case, they said there are two companies, Gido Mining Company, Aramzad Company. They are
No. Now the Parliamentary Caucus on Disability has vowed to drag Roads Minister Kwesi Amokwata to the floor of Parliament over the 2-year salary arrears owed persons with disability who man toll booths across the country. The over 300 of them were made to go home after government announced a closure of all toll booths in 2021. Some members of the group were arrested on Wednesday after picketing the Roads Ministry to demand their payment. Listen to one of them, Evelyn Kadri, who narrates to Joy News what transpired at the ministry before their arrest.
They didn't allow us to enter, so we perched at one corner. So as soon as we saw the that V8 cars, they were entering. Then we followed the car, and they locked me with their gates. Seriously, I can't move. They locked me with their gates. I cannot even move. So they hit my head with the gates. As I'm talking, bad pains. I cannot even do anything.
A Member of Parliament for Busa South and Chairman of the Parliamentary Caucus on Disability, Dr. Clement Apak, says he'll haul the Gross Minister before Parliament over the matter. Away from that, final funeral rites continues for former First Lady Theresa Kufuor in Kumasi on Saturday. In a state funeral held at the forecourt of the State House yesterday, tribute from her children said her compassionate but strict nature and her nicknames like Chief Justice, the Law, and Severe. Widower and former President John Ajikum Kufuor in his tribute also praised her for helping him survive a 15-month jail time at the Ashford prison after an unexpected coup d'etat in 1972. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
People from diverse backgrounds and political affiliations have gathered at the forecourt of the State House to bid their final farewell to the late former First Lady. In a heartfelt tribute, Edward Ejikum Kufuor, speaking on behalf of the children, said their mother was both compassionate and a disciplinarian.
The disciplinarian in you earned you many coded nicknames such as Severe, the Law, Chief Justice. But somehow you always knew it was you we were referring to.
Former President John Ejikum Kufuor, in a tribute on his behalf, recounted the resilience of the former First Lady during his incarceration after a coup in 1972.
Would remain in jail for a minimum period of between 12 and 15 months each. This angel of a woman, to my amazement, would survive the ordeal of raising 5 children on her own.
Former President John Mahama commended Teresa Kufuor's exemplary life.
Great person. She was a good first lady. She was very respectable. Ghana is the poorer for her death.
That's sad. Our condolences to her family. Now, before we go, the play The Gods Are Not to Blame is grossing interest ahead of its 2nd and 3rd December showing. The tragic play, written by Ola Rotimi, revolves around Odewale, a young prince who is destined to kill his father and marry his mother, just like the ancient Greek myth of Oedipus. The play is set in a fictional African kingdom called Kituje. Here are excerpts of what to expect.
Before Ogun, the god of fire, I stand on oath. Is it not ignorance that makes the rats attack the cats? There are kings and there rats. Odewale, king, son of Ogundele, rat king. Because all lizards lie prostrate. How can one tell which lizard suffers from bellyache?
And that's from the play The Gods Are Not to Blame. That ends the bulletin at 6. I am Amisi Nyamiche Thompson. Now headlines you heard. Minority in Parliament cast doubts over government's ability to make an estimated 4 billion cedis available to recapitalize distressed National Investment Bank. Up next is business on the Super Morning Show.